Well, hey everyone, welcome back to another Client Side Chats. Today we have a guest who is returning to us, Grace Marin. Hi, Grace, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, James?
So far, so good. Hey, before we get into our discussion, just want to remind people, don't forget to follow us on our social media outlets. And, we're going to be starting to change our discussions now as we've identified before. But anyway, just to kind of give you an idea, Grace, I know I'd like you to, if you don't mind, go ahead and just reintroduce the audience to you a little bit about your professional background and what you're doing today. And then we'll get into the discussion I know we were going to have on engaging your team personally to the impact of the bottom line. I'll let you go ahead and introduce that. But Grace, tell us, just remind us who you are and a little bit about what you're doing.
Thank you, James. Thank you for having me back. What a joy to be able to be back on camera again. I have to tell you, the past couple of months have been so the opposite of what I think most people would say is the right time to make moves when people are feeling afraid and feeling unsure about what the future holds, especially as we enter into the fall and flu season. My background, I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for over 30 years. My clinical background is NICU. I have my MBA and Master's of Science in Nursing. And I've used it in various different ways that I didn't expect to when I was in school. Currently, I own my own coaching business. It's called PX Coaching. PX stands for patient experience in the healthcare arena. And so patient experience is simply how patients and families, almost like a Yelp rating, but for their experience in the hospital, but not about the clinical, more about the relational. And so that's what I really bring to the table being a nurse and also doing patient experience now for about 10 years. That's my background. I'm calling you from New York also.
That's great, and I'm glad to see that things are recovering very well now there and becoming a model after being the epicenter of all of this. But I know today we are going to talk about engage your team personally to impact the bottom line. I know a lot of what you're going to talk about, and this is just going to be some nuggets, but a lot of what you talk about and what you consult in definitely relates to safety management and also to the safety professional as well. These are very good tools and ideas and thoughts here, and I think this is great that you're willing to share it with our audience in the environmental health and safety. So, yeah, Grace, tell us a little bit about what you mean by this.
Yeah, so really the bottom line of any relationship is communication, whether it's personal or whether it's professional. And in this world that we live in where we feel like a number, when we scroll through our Instagram and Facebook, it's just like you don't even have a second for each person that comes through your scroll. And I think sometimes because we're so modernized, we sometimes get lost. And truly, as humans, we want to be connected. We want to be connected to one another. And in that connection, is it something that is going to bring about a sense of purpose and meaning within that relationship and how that impacts the organization? So, James, if you were my boss and let's say I just know you because you walk by every day with a cup of coffee, hey, how you doing, Grace? And you walk away,
Right.
that's really not a relationship, right? And so some things that I did as a nurse manager a couple years ago, but I also teach and coach leaders, nurse leaders, on how to engage their team from a structured approach,
Ah,
where the goal is, and you do the math, how many staff do you have for one leader, and how many can you round with per month? So for myself as a nurse manager, I had about 20 direct reports. So I'd meet with them every month. And the meeting's about a 30-minute meeting. And just very briefly, it's not even all that hard to ask these questions. Once you get the hang of it, you don't even need a piece of paper. It just rolls off your tongue. First thing is to engage your staff. Find out about them. How many kids do they have? Are they in school? What's their favorite hobby? Just like you're having a friendly chat. And that really takes away some of that going to the principal's office feel. When you feel like your boss is, oh, I must be in trouble, I'm going to the office. But if they know in advance that this is something that you want to do because you want to hear from them, people are more willing to come and come with ideas. Also, we as leaders forget that our frontline teams hold the answers to a lot of the problems that we face at the top, but we don't ask the people who are closest to the work. And so the whole idea of lean, the whole Toyota automobile industry, that frontline staff have the ability to pull a chain to stop all automation if there is a defect in anything. And so in your world of safety, it is so important that people feel empowered to say something's not right and I can't continue. This is going to impact us as a whole. So first, engage the staff to find out a little bit about them, and then find out what things are working well within your department, within the organization, however big the organization is. And then also ask them, what are some things that you find are not working well? And let them go, open-ended. So don't have it be an interrogation.
Hmm.
It's more just a general open-ended. The biggest thing is to listen and not interrupt as a leader. And so those little things that I teach, it's not just a document that you ask questions, it's how you ask it. And then just simply going forward to, do you have all the things that you need to do your job? Do you have the tools that you need? Are some tools broken? Do you think we need something else? And they have the answers. Sometimes in healthcare, because we don't have the funding, people jimmy rig things. They start using tape for everything. With the tongue depressor, we make all kinds, it's ugly. But that's what people do. There's a workaround because they're so desperate to do the right thing. And so there's that piece. And then I really would go in further to what are some things or people in your department that you really appreciate? And why do you appreciate them? And so with that information, you either email that person or tell that other person directly, hey, did you know that Grace said that you were really a great team player and every time you come to work, you're a joy to work with? And what that does is it creates a whole culture where people feel safe and people want to come to work. And don't you want people to come to work feeling fully engaged, right? And when people come in fully engaged, feel heard, they can add to, with their ideas, a sense of ownership in the company. There's nowhere else to go but up with their profits because they feel so engaged. And guess what? When they're engaged, then your customers are going to be engaged because they're going to bring their whole heart into it.
Oh, absolutely. And everything that you talk about is really critical to a good safety management process. And this is how a safety professional could be engaged within that process. Now, I know from here forward, we're going to talk about these kinds of things and what you do and some
Mhm.
examples of leadership and self-care and time management and all those things once a month. So what I'd like to do is next month, I know you've had an opportunity to apply these techniques that you're talking about with some clients in California as well as in New York and had
Mhm.
great success. So what I would love to be able to do is bring that back and bring you back and be able to talk to you about that success with that with those clients as the examples. Would that be great? Would that be good?
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll create a working document that any leader can take and adjust, but I'll give you some clues as to what kinds of things to ask, and also put in parentheses the body language piece that sometimes people don't talk about. That is
Okay.
crucial with conversation. Conversation is not verbal only; it's
Right.
body language.
Okay,
Thank
excellent.
you, Vicki.
And if you get that to us, we'll go ahead and make sure that that's also uploaded with the this client side chat, so people can come and take it and be able to see what's there, utilize it as they see fit. And yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Grace. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
So
James. Look
thank you,
forward to seeing
Grace.
you next month.
You got it. And hopefully one day in person again too. That would be nice. But thanks for being on today. Greatly appreciate it.